Unpopular tennis opinions. That's what we are going to talk about today because I'm genuinely getting tired of seeing the same stuff being discussed in the tennis world, so I decided to do my part in changing that. And you can play your part as well by leaving your unpopular tennis opinions in the comment section down below, but without further ado, let's get into my unpopular opinions. First being that I think that serve bots are not boring to watch. Don't get me wrong, I'm not watching an Isner versus Opelka match and thoroughly enjoying it, but the same goes for any match that includes two players with a similar playstyle. As they say in the combat sports, styles make fights, and you can attribute the same thought process to tennis in my opinion. A match between a grinder and a serve bot creates an enticing David versus Goliath dynamic that everybody can get behind. In such matches, every point means more than usual. Seeing the underdog go up love 30 on an opponent's serve already feels like an accomplishment, but then the Goliath comes back to take the game, which makes you root for the underdog even more. You probably won't see all-time great rallies in matches that involve serve bots, but I do think that they are necessary in tennis. Odd, extravagant, unique personalities are also necessary in tennis as well, but my next unpopular opinion involves a guy who is loved by the majority of fans, but I just can't get behind him. I'm sorry, but I'm not a huge fan of Daniil Medvedev. Listen, his acrobatics on the court can be amusing, some of the quotes that he produces are funny, but to me he seems like a bit of a frontrunner. It's easy to be the funny guy when everything goes your way, but sometimes when Daniil starts losing he can become bitter. He can start complaining for no reason, he can start deflecting the blame on the crowd or his coaches. I'm not saying that I'm against any negative show of emotions, everyone who has watched this channel knows that it's not the case, but I do disagree with fans portraying him as the people's champion because I don't think that he's all that. But speaking of crowds, my next unpopular opinion is that Grand Slam crowds are the best. Admittedly, they can get a bit too rowdy at times, but I enjoy the obvious cheering for your favorites. I support the creation of home crowd advantage during the Grand Slams. At the end of the day, football players play through crazier distractions. Basketball players feel the stress of the whole arena booing you when you are shooting free throws, for example. So I don't think that cheering for 3 seconds after a first serve miss is the end of the world as some people portray it as. I love drunk Aussies, I love the clueless US fans who ooh and ah during any rally that's longer than 5 shots. I love people at Wimbledon who get triggered by a red cap. Nobody likes French people, so we will ignore the French Open, but that's what makes these crowds unique, and honestly I enjoy watching tennis more when the crowds get more into the action. I didn't even know that my next opinion was unpopular, but apparently it is. I think that Olympics are more important than Masters and almost on par with Grand Slams. Before you say anything, no, having a gold medal in the Olympics isn't the end-all be-all in the GOAT debate, but I do think that having a gold medal in the Olympics is infinitely more valuable than winning Monte Carlo Masters or some shit like that. Maybe I think this way because I was brought up on football where winning Premier League, for example, is awesome. It's undoubtedly a huge achievement, but nothing beats a World Cup victory. And I would equate the World Cup in football to the Olympics in tennis based on the exclusivity alone, so I'm tired of the Olympic slander in the tennis world. With my next opinion, I might personally offend some people, but I do think that fans care too much about wins and losses of their favorites. No one is saying that you can't be ecstatic when your fave wins a title, or that you can't be pissed off when the player you support loses a grueling 5-setter. But saying that this is the worst day of my life when your fave loses a second round match at a 250 event is just cringe. It makes me cringe. Holding on to tennis related grudges is odd as well. Like you wouldn't even defend Yamada like you are defending your idol in the YouTube comment section, but the reality is you are not defending your favorite's honor, you are just being a fucking weirdo. Sorry to tell you that. Are my unpopular opinions unpopular for a reason? Comment your thoughts down below, like the video if you agree with some, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, take it easy, my friend.